Good morning. This is the Paradise Unicorn Priestess bringing you day 329 of A Course in Miracles, the Yin translation, where we use female words. This would be November 25th if you're starting at the new year. The purpose of psychotherapy. Very simply, the purpose of psychotherapy is to remove the blocks to truth. Its aim is to aid the patient in abandoning her fixed delusional system and to begin to reconsider the spurious cause and effect relationships on which it rests. No one in this world escapes fear, but everyone can reconsider its causes and learn to evaluate them correctly. God has given everyone a teacher whose wisdom and help far exceed whatever contributions an earthly therapist can provide. Yet there are times and situations in which an earthly patient-therapist relationship becomes the means through which she offers her greater gifts to both. What better purpose could any relationship have than to invite the Holy Spirit to enter into it and give it her own great gift of rejoicing? What higher goal could there be for anyone than to learn to call upon God and hear her answer? And what more transcendent aim can there be than to recall the way, the truth, and the life, and to remember God? To help in this is the proper purpose of psychotherapy. Could anything be holier? For psychotherapy, correctly understood, teaches forgiveness and helps the patient to recognize and accept it. And in her healing is the therapist forgiven with her. Everyone who needs help, regardless of the form of her distress, is attacking herself, and her peace of mind is suffering in consequence. These tendencies are often described as self-destructive, and the patient often regards them in that way herself. What she does not recognize and needs to learn is that this self, which can attack and be attacked as well, is a concept she made up. Further, she cherishes it, defends it, and is sometimes even willing to sacrifice her life on its behalf, for she regards it as herself. This self she sees as being acted on, reacting to external forces as they demand, and helpless midst the power of the world. Psychotherapy, then, must restore to her awareness the ability to make her own decisions. She must become willing to reverse her thinking and to understand that what she thought projected its effects on her were made by her projections on the world. The world she sees does therefore not exist. Until this is at least in part accepted, the patient cannot see herself as really capable of making decisions, and she will fight against her freedom because she thinks that it is slavery. The patient need not think of truth as God in order to make progress in salvation, but she must begin to separate truth from illusion, recognizing that they are not the same, and becoming increasingly willing to see illusions as false and to accept the truth as true. Her teacher will take her on from there, as far as she is ready to go. Psychotherapy can only save her time. The Holy Spirit uses time as she thinks is best, and she is never wrong. Psychotherapy, under her direction, is one of the means she uses to save time and to prepare additional teachers for her work. There is no end to the help that she begins and she directs. By whatever routes she chooses, all psychotherapy leads to God in the end, but that is up to her. We are all her psychotherapists, for she would have us all be healed in her. All right, today we're talking about the purpose of psychotherapy, and again, the person who channeled A Course in Miracles and the one who supported them and helped them as a partner, they were both psychotherapists. So it makes sense to see things through this lens. Most of us are not psychotherapists, but the lens here is that if we've gone through the course and we've adopted the principles for ourselves and we are sharing them with others to help them to wake up, then we are psychotherapists in that sense. Perhaps not professionally, not according to the standards of this world, but we are seeking to invite another to look at things differently, to change their mind. And if we are all insane, if we are all inmates in hell, then we are inviting people to wake up from hallucinations of hell to a reality of heaven. And how are you going to believe that you're in heaven as long as you're hallucinating about harmful things and harmful actions, what we call sins? That's why we have to withdraw our belief in them entirely in order to see that we're in heaven. As long as we believe that they exist, our solution is punishment, retribution, balance. Basically responding to them as though they are real. Whereas the psychotherapy approach from the Course is to just walk away from it. Don't acknowledge it as real. And the promise of the Course is that the universe will back you up in this. So of course this approach doesn't work if this, all we see around us, all that we sense with our body is reality. It only works in dream logic. In dream logic, if you don't acknowledge a nightmare, the nightmare transforms into something harmless. I can't help but think of the Buddha sitting under the Bodhi tree, challenged by the demon of illusion, screaming at him, "Who do you think you are?" Oh, but before that, he was hurling at him all these missiles of all different kinds of illusions. And as the Buddha sat peacefully under the tree, those missiles just fell at his feet as beautiful, lightly scented flowers. That's what we're being taught, is that if we treat everything as though it is harmless and loving, it will transform before our eyes. And we are being asked to test this premise and strengthen our belief in it by seeing evidence for it. We're not being asked to accept something before we've seen the evidence. That being said, I don't know of any psychotherapy on planet Earth that teaches people that everything their body's senses tell them is an illusion. Who knows? Maybe someday that's the world we'll live in, where everyone, maybe it's been proven scientifically that everything we see and feel with our body is a simulation. Irrefutable proof by science. And then our psychotherapists will teach people it's just a dream. If you smile in the mirror will smile back. You can't expect the reflection of the mirror to smile before you do. But that's not the world we live in today. That is not the psychotherapy of today. This passage addresses that we all have help from heaven. We all have the best teacher, the Holy Spirit, available to us 24/7, better than any earthly psychotherapist. The only problem with that is sometimes we're not good at receiving the communication from divine sources. When we are triggered, when we are stuck in unpleasant emotions, love isn't reaching us very well, but others who are in bodies can reach us. And it is really a very beautiful thing when this happens, when one person is able to get through to another. And the Course is very careful about teaching us that our job is not to correct other people or tell them that they're wrong. So if we are all psychotherapists, that is not the approach we take. And we are told that we will be guided by the Holy Spirit. So perhaps the person that we're working with is in a state of really painful and unpleasant emotions, where love is not getting through, but it is our responsibility to be in touch with love so that we can be guided and know what to say and what to do that will reach that person. It's our responsibility to know the difference between the ego wanting to help, wanting to correct another, wanting to feel skilled, gifted, talented in some way, standing out as having achieved something. The Holy Spirit's approach looks at every particle of creation as equally precious. And so we see that as humility. It's just honesty, but we're so tied to our separate identities, the ego is, that to hold no specialness in love, to have love shine equally on absolutely everything, no matter what, can feel very humbling to the ego. It is up to us to learn the difference, to learn when we are being guided by the Holy Spirit. It's interesting. It says that the point of psychotherapy is to restore to the patient's awareness the ability to make her own decisions. And until the patient sees that the outer world is not real, it's only a projection, then the patient cannot really see herself as capable of making decisions. I guess that makes sense. As long as we think that reality is real and we are at the mercy of it, we're going to feel like victims on some level, or feel like we have to fight and strive to not become a victim to it. But if we have all the power and that we are generating everything we see outside of us, then we could only be at its mercy if that was some fantasy we wanted to play out. And why would we do that? Truly, this is not the world's form of psychotherapy. So in order to empower the patient to have this omnipotence in her life, she must stop believing in the separate self. She must believe in the oneness of all things. It says she doesn't have to believe in God for that to be the case, and truly, there are many out there that are beginning to feel the oneness of all things, but they don't have a God concept in that perspective paradigm shift. But yeah, this is not your world's run-of-the-mill psychotherapy. So we have presented here that psychotherapy, the type that the Holy Spirit uses, is a fantastic time saver, and it helps prepare people who can help other people in this same way, being part of the bridge. Who among us looks on a world that seems to have a greater and greater divide and not yearn for people to cross that divide in love and connect with each other and see their similarities and let go of their differences? So while what is being described here does not seem like this world's version of psychotherapy, this section does say that all psychotherapy leads to God in the end. After we review what is creation, found in show notes, we go on to lesson 329. I have already chosen what you will. Mother, I thought I wandered from your will, defied it, broke its laws, and interposed a second will more powerful than yours. Yet what I am, in truth, is but your will, extended and extending. This am I, and this will never change. As you are one, so am I one with you, and this I chose in my creation, where my will became forever one with yours. That choice was made for all eternity. It cannot change and be in opposition to itself. Mother, my will is yours, and I am safe, untroubled and serene in endless joy, because it is your will that I be so. Today, we will accept our union with each other and our source. We have no will apart from hers, and all of us are one because her will is shared by all of us. Through it, we recognize that we are one. Through it, we find our way, at last, to God. That is the lesson for the day. Happy practicing.